What's going on, everyone? Yesterday, we got a report from Shams talking about Dejounte Murray being a player to keep an eye on for the Lakers, that the Lakers are targeting Dejounte Murray, that he could be a potential upgrade over D'Angelo Russell. Now, here's the thing. I definitely, without a doubt, believe Dejounte Murray is an upgrade. Made a video yesterday kind of breaking down the pros and cons and the differences between D'Lo and Dejounte Murray. And although Dejounte Murray, again, I do believe would be an upgrade, I don't know how much of a significant upgrade. He has struggled defensively this year. I know he's been good defensively in the past, right? I understand Atlanta is not a very good defensive team. That very likely would turn around with the Lakers. There's no guarantees, right? And if he's a liability, I mean, he's 6 points worse than D'Angelo Russell this year defensively. Also, from a defensive impact, right? Defensive net rating, he's worse. Like every metric defensively, Dejounte Murray has been worse this year. The other concern is just his three-point shooting, right? He's not a great elite three-point shooter. He's shooting well this year. Got to give him credit this year, right? This is a guy that so far is shooting 38.2% on 6.1 attempts, which is the most attempts of his career. But he is a career 34%. His best season since then was his rookie year, where he didn't even take one attempt. So basically in 2019-2020, he took two attempts and shot 37%. Outside of that, he has been atrocious shooting the three ball. He's struggled mightily last year. He was atrocious off the ball last year. Granted, that was kind of the year that he had to kind of feel and figure it out. He's been better this year, but he still hasn't been great. And it's clunky at times. And you got to keep in mind, LeBron James is still going to have the ball in his hands a good majority of the time. It's been an issue with D'Lo. And D'Lo is much better off the ball than Dejounte Murray has been. But it's still difficult when you're used to having the ball in your hands, used to making plays, used to being the point guard, and now you got to play third fiddle, which Dejounte Murray has never done. It's not as easy as it may seem. Now, that doesn't mean that Dejounte Murray isn't worth the risk or he's not worth the chance or anything, but there are definitely some concerns and there are definitely some cons with Dejounte Murray. I don't believe that Dejounte Murray is worth giving up D'Angelo Russell and a first-round pick for. I think that first-round pick would be better suited elsewhere. I think I've talked about this. You go get a guy like a Zach LaVine because I don't believe that you have to give up a first to get him, right? But if you have to give up a first to get Dejounte Murray and that's your only tradable first, does Dejounte Murray really make us a contender by himself? I don't believe so. But if you could get Dejounte Murray and some other pieces, well, then now we're cooking. Right? Now we're cooking with fire. And now it's like, okay, Atlanta, you look at Atlanta's roster, they have some very comparable pieces that would make a lot of sense for the Lakers that now could put them in the contention conversation, right? I don't believe Dejounte Murray by himself is enough. To me, Dejounte Murray, and I even said this in the previous video, to me, Dejounte Murray is a guy that is, we got Dejounte Murray and we got this, whether it's from Atlanta or another trade. Or it's, we got this, and then we went and got Dejounte Murray. Because look, any trade we do is likely going to involve D'Angelo Russell. And I've expressed mightily that one of my big concerns is if you trade D'Lo for even, let's say it's not even Zach LaVine, right? Let's say it is DeMar and some other pieces. Who's your other playmaker? You're going to have to address that because that would mean LeBron is your sole playmaker, right? So personally, I don't believe the Lakers have enough. So before I dive into what I'm about to dive into, I do want to start by saying I do not believe the Lakers have enough to get Dejounte Murray. I don't. I even said that in the previous video. Atlanta gave up essentially 4 first-round picks for Murray. They gave up 3 firsts and a pick swap. The Lakers only have 1 first and a pick swap that they could trade. I just don't see that. And Atlanta going, okay, well, that's what we're going to take a quarter of what we traded for Dejounte Murray in a deal, right? But again, if you can convince it, maybe they want to get off of Murray. He's about to be due a new $30 million extension beginning next season, and they have some other pieces that are multi-year deals. Maybe they say, okay, well, if we can unload multiple guys, let's do that. We can kind of retool this offseason and get whatever assets from the Lakers, or maybe it's a 3-team deal, whatever. But let's assume that the Lakers could get a Dejounte Murray. I would look at a guy like Clint Capela because, again, Lakers desperately need a center. So if we could go get a guy like Clint Capela, who you're talking about, double-double machine, right? Talking about a guy that can defend and be and apply rim protection. That would be massive when Anthony Davis is out of the games, right? I'm not saying Clint Capela is this world-beating center or anything like that, but he is one of the better just defensive shot-blocking centers in the league. This season for Atlanta and basically the last few years, he's given you basically 12 points per game, 10 to 11 rebounds. He's 12 points and 10.7 rebounds this year to be exact. Last season, he was 12 points exactly and 11 rebounds to be exact. He's given you 1 assist, 1 steal, and almost 2 blocks per game, which would be massive. 71, almost 72% from the free throw line, so he's not terrible shooting the free throws, which is good. He's shooting 2-point percentage at 59.5% this season, and he's not a guy that takes any threes, so he's not a guy that would stretch the floor. But if you could get like a Clint Capela, right, now you're talking about a guy who, one, is a veteran. He's got good size, good strength, good athleticism, for being 6'10", 240. He's a guy that I do believe could help the Lakers. He's also 29 years old, so he's a guy you could keep for the long haul if you could get something like that. Also, I think the Lakers need some perimeter help, right? Could you get a DeAndre Hunter? He's 26, right? He's had his good moments and his bad moments, but, he's 6'8". He's got good size, good length. He could shoot the ball, right? He could do a little bit of everything for the Lakers. I just think he'd be another complimentary piece. This season, he's shooting 40% from 3 on 4.8 attempts. He's had his ups and downs, right? For his career, he's 36%. But he had, just 2 years ago, was 38% from 3. So this is a guy that can knock down the 3 ball on occasion, but he's also a guy that can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He's got good size, good length. I wouldn't hate if you could go and find a way to get a Hunter. You could play him at the shooting guard. You can play him at the small forward spot. Just give you a little upgrade in that regard. But 2 guys that I like even better, and this guy might be my favorite, is Saddiq Bey, right? I actually genuinely like the idea of bringing Saddiq Bey. I wanted Saddiq Bey when he was with Detroit last season. If we could get him, that would be nice. He is a restricted free agent next season, but this season he's only making $5 million. So, the beauty of Murray is his extension doesn't kick in till next year, so he's only like $18 million, a little less than that this season. So if you could get, right, so Clint Capela is making like 20 million. You're talking between Capela and Murray, you're talking about 38 million. If you get a Saddiq Bey, that's only a couple million more than what Zach LaVine would be. And so the question is, would Atlanta be willing to trade Saddiq Bey? Would they be willing to give him up? Because he would be solid. He's 24 years old. He's a guy that can light it up. He can be a little inconsistent at times, especially from 3. He's kind of hot and cold. Another 36% three-point shooter, but he's had some monster offensive games. Last year, he shot 40% on 5 attempts. This year, he's kind of regressed. He's shooting 34.4%. But defensively, I think he would be solid. I think he'd help. He's averaging 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1 steal, and then we'll call it half a block. Will be nice. Round it up to half a block. But to me, he's just another 6'7" versatile wing that you could play at the shooting guard, small forward, guy that can defend, switch spots, kind of adds to your depth. He's a young player at 24 years old that you could have and establish him for the next few seasons and just kind of be a part of your core, right? Because whatever trade the Lakers make, they're going to need to keep these guys for the long haul, right? It's the same thing, even if the Lakers did trade for a Zach LaVine and Andre Drummond, right? That's their roster regardless, right? The Lakers are over the cap whether they make a trade or not. So it's just who would you rather have? Would you rather have the guys you have right now who just don't seem to have it and make sense? Or would you like to, consolidate some of the guys, which may help Darvin Ham and his rotation also, and do something like that? I don't know. But I do like the idea of Saddiq Bay on the Lakers. If you can get like a Clint Capela and a Murray. The last guy that I wanted to talk about is Bogdan Bogdanovic. Say that 10 times fast, right? But Bogdan Bogdanovic, I do like him a lot, right? He's a guy that could really make an impact. Problem is that he's making $18.7 million this year. And he's under contract. Luckily, his contract actually goes down each year. So he has a club option in 2026, 2027, and it's $16 million. So that's good that his contract would actually decline. Problem is, I don't see a scenario where we get Bogdanovic, Capela, and Murray. So it'd kind of be like, well, if you can't get, say, Capela, like if they're like, no, we're not going to trade Capela, like maybe you could get Bogdanovic to kind of sweeten the pot. This is a guy that, again, can shoot the basketball. He can shoot the thing out of the basketball. He's shooting 40% this season. He shot 40% last season. This guy is a career 39% three-point shooter. He's averaging 8.7 attempts per game this season. He's averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.7 to be exact, 1.4 steals. He's a guy that I think in a bench role, a starting role, whatever, I think he could come in. Defense, right, would be a concern with him. But, you know, my thing is just kind of trying to offset the likelihood of having to give up a first. Because, again, Dejounte Murray is an upgrade, in my opinion, over D'Angelo Russell. I just don't think he's this first-round pick on top of D'Lo upgrade, right? I just think that at that point, the Lakers are better off just being patient or going and trying to get other pieces, right? Like, can you trade for just Clint Capela and not have to give up a first? I'd be okay with that, right? Or maybe you could get Capela and Saddiq Bay and not have to give up a first, right? And then maybe go make another move for somebody else, right? And maybe get like several pieces rather than trading for the stars or something. I don't know. If you're just trading for Dejounte Murray and you have to give up a first, which again, I don't believe the Lakers have the assets to trade for him, especially if the reports are true that the Knicks are interested in him as well. I mean, the Knicks could give up 3 or 4 firsts if they wanted to, and it wouldn't even affect them. They have a treasure trove of first-round picks. So I just think any type of bidding war is going to spell trouble for the Lakers. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, like, hey, yeah, like if you can get Dejounte Murray and other pieces, then yeah, it's worth the deal? Which, at that point, I do. Like, if you could get, like I said, if you could just get Dejounte Murray and Clint Capela, just both of those guys, for, say, a first and a pick swap, then maybe I would do that, right? Like, let's say you could trade D'Lo and Rui plus, like, I don't know, Maxwell Lewis and a first and a pick swap. I still think that's a little high, giving up the first and the pick swap, but I wouldn't hate if they did that because it's like, okay, well, now you got another rim protector. Now you got another 7-footer. Now you got a guy that can rebound and block shots and be a lob threat. You also got an upgrade in the point guard. Both guys are young enough to where you could have them long term, right? It's kind of like, it's almost similar to like a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal, but like Murray is better than Buddy Hield, but Miles Turner is better than Clint Capela, but it's like the similar, like you're getting a guard and you're getting a center that would fit and make sense for the Lakers. The Lakers get an athletic, just slashing guard. I don't know. But again, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.